The Texas Energy Fund is a $5 billion loan program to encourage construction of new gas power plants. Voters passed a constitutional amendment back in 2023 to create this fund. This legislation came after the 2021 February winter storm, where millions of Texans lost power for days in freezing temperatures, leading to the deaths of more than 245 people. Now, part of the grid failure happened because gas and wind supplies weren't winterized and they froze. So we wanted to get an update on the Texas Energy Fund and what projects have come from it. Adrian Shelley is the Texas Director of Public Citizen, a nonprofit consumer rights group. Welcome, Adrian. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
So give us an update. How many projects has this fund actually inspired?
So there were 17 projects initially. None of them has been built yet. None of them has generated any electricity. We've seen 5 cancellations. There have been 5 projects that have backfilled those that are canceled. So we're still looking at about 17 projects, still waiting for that first one to generate electricity for Texas.
And so what did those companies give as reasons for backing out of the plan to build gas power plants?
Yeah, so of the companies that have canceled, some of them are concerned about supply chain constraints. You can't buy a gas turbine from just anywhere. Some of them are concerned about the timeline for the Texas Energy Fund. They have to produce by a certain time, and they don't think they can do that. The most recent one was actually concerned about community opposition. Their air permit has gotten tied up in a public process, and they said they weren't sure how long that was going to take, and they couldn't continue.
I believe you're talking about the community of Granbury.
That's right, in Hood County, Constellation Energy. They've withdrawn from the Texas Energy Fund, so they're not going to take the state funding. They haven't canceled the project yet, and so the community is going to continue with its opposition.
So, Adrian, what's the message that this says to Texans about this fund?
Well, you know, it's not easy to get a gas plant built, right? It's expensive, it's costly. There's community opposition, right?
Yep.
This was always only one strategy to fix the grid, and our message and other advocates' message has been there are other strategies available. We shouldn't have put all of our eggs into this gas basket in the first place, and I think we're seeing that with the lack of success in the Texas Energy Fund so far.
Speaking of opposition, speaking of other strategies, there are several rural communities all across Texas fighting green energy projects as well. What's your take on that?
That's right. You know, there are communities out there that, don't want a wind turbine affecting their view, or they don't want
those battery storage.
Battery storage.
Yeah.
They're concerned about their local fire department's ability
Absolutely.
to fight a big fire that might come out. You know, those are valid concerns. We think there are ways forward for clean energy projects. We need some controls. We need to make sure that a big battery farm isn't too close to a home, for example. We need to make sure that local fire departments know how to manage an accident should it happen. But there's a path forward for clean energy in Texas, to be sure.
Well, especially since ERCOT, the state's power grid operators, predicting our energy use doubling in just 5 years, tripling in 15 years. What are the other solutions that Public Citizen is advocating?
Yeah, so there's just some very big demand projections over the next decade or so. As I mentioned, there's a lot of solutions out there. Building gas is one of them, but we haven't built a lot of gas in Texas lately. Do you know that since Winter Storm Uri, 92% of the new energy that we've built has been wind, solar, and battery storage? Yep. There's also the demand side of the equation. It's not just about building more power plants. It's about reducing demand and using the energy that we have more efficiently. There are strategies such as residential energy efficiency investment. I'm talking about energy efficient heat pumps, insulation in our homes. These are going to make our homes more comfortable. They're going to reduce our electricity bills so we pay less, and they're going to secure the grid.
You got to talk about conservation in that conversation.
That's right, and unfortunately, lawmakers have not undertaken any of those conservation strategies. It has been, we have said, an all-gas, no-brakes strategy, right? We need to look at both sides here.
All right, Adrian, anything else we need to know about this fund?
We have not generated a single megawatt of electricity from the Texas Energy Fund yet, and we're not close. The lawmakers that are in session right now need to look at those other strategies. There are energy efficiency bills out there. There are other approaches that we can take, and we need to start getting serious about those.
All right, Adrian Shelley with Public Citizen, thank you so much for that update. We appreciate it, and we can count on you to keep monitoring the situation for us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you. Great.